Um, all right, so our good friend here, Z, who we shall call ZSX1234, uh, made us aware of this new thing called Lens, the Kubernetes IDE that's come out. And God knows I'm not a fan of graphics things, but as I've been trying to learn Kubernetes myself and get really good at it, I have wondered what is the best. It's very hard to visualize Kubernetes because they got the control plane. Some of the best documentation I've read on Kubernetes IO and places like that, they have diagrams to show you the control plane and the API and all that stuff. But there's always questions. Like they'll say that you have a thing that you can deploy, like a Kubernetes object, but then it'll leave you hanging with like, well, where, what does that mean? And so here's this thing called Lens that came out. It's obviously an Electron app. Uh, I love you as a brother. I want you to know that. So then you get this thing called Lens that comes out, and now you got this like wonderful, uh, wonderful thing going on. You got overview here. So it gives you like all of your different stuff. But so this is one of the questions that I was having a hard time answering before. Is like, what are all of the things that you can do like kind colon, right? We can have a deployment. You can have a pod. Now I don't have very many pods in here in this particular set. This thing I was just working with. Um, but there's my node. In fact, I don't think I have anything in here right now. I should probably add something into it. Let me go see if I can. I was working on something else, but let me go see if I can make something new here. So I'm kind of changing gears here on y'all. Sorry. JHub is a project I've been doing. To destroy ST4. I think it is. Well, we'll have to see about that. So I'm going to go ahead and create. I actually already have JHub installed. This is some stuff I've been working on in my different projects. Test 2. So it's going to this is going to use Helm to deploy an environment. And I actually have create cluster already started here. I think I have this one already though. So I need to do more with the create cluster stuff. I think I may have dropped the whole cluster last time. So let's go see what this pops up for us. So this is the stuff you normally would do from the command line to get a cluster up and running and going. And I'm not using YAML files as much as I should be. I've been reading a lot about that, and I need to go back to that. So, but mostly I'm doing this because I just want to see what's up with the IDE. Oh, look at that! Look at that! It lost connection to Kind JHub because it restarted it. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, let's see that reconnect. Okay, so now it found it again. So there's all the nodes. What cluster are we on? So we're on this cluster. I haven't added anything else to the cluster. Can we add a new cluster? Add a cluster. Let's go see if it added it to my kube control. How's it going, Nafis? We're just having fun. And Kind JHub, I think we already added that one, right? I only think I have one context right now, so I think I need to re-add it though. So I love it. Look at these cool little icons. You get these random icons. That's kind of cool. I mean, look, I don't know Kubernetes very well. I know it conceptually, but I don't use it all the time. I need to. It's my new job. So I'm spending a lot of time doing all this. Yeah. So I should have pods already in here and stuff. I don't understand why the pods aren't listed because I swear I have pods here already. Stateful sets, replica sets. Where are services though? Somebody was asking the question is where are services? I don't think service is under workload though, right? Could that be under apps or events? Apps, charts. Yep, here we go. So there's the Jupyter Hub. Helm chart to install Binder. Binder Hub, Jupyter Hub. That's so cool. Oh my God, it knows about charts too. That's so stinking cool. That is so cool. Under network, yeah, let's look. we're just exploring. That's what we're doing here for this 20 minutes or so. Access control, no. Event storage. Ooh, can I make a storage class from here? Oh my god. This is what I've been looking for, because I want to make a persistent volume that's mounted on my hard drive. And I use kind instead of minikube for that because it doesn't use a virtual machine. It gets in the way. So that, goddamn it, this might be even easier for me to make that volume. I'm not a fan of IDEs, but the reason I like the IDE, I'm going to say it again, is when you're learning, the IDE gives you a way to visualize how everything's interrelated and stuff. Oh, look at all the namespaces. Default. Wait, local path storage. What? Did I make that? I think I might have made that, actually. Where's my other stuff? I need to change to a different cluster. Is it the same cluster? Anyway, for anyone to get it, to get what? I don't have SD4. I don't. Container D for your home. For your home lab or more lightweight setup like K3. I don't know. So Maluba, I personally, as of this moment, and I'm learning, so I might change my mind, I'm going to stick with kind. I've talked to 5 very successful, very well employed Kubernetes architects / engineers, and they all use kind at home, and for their one node setup, so they can test things. And then they have their own clusters, like a full with multi-node cluster. And I've got probably 20 or maybe even up to 30 potential nodes, Mac Minis, Raspberry Pis. I got 3 gaming systems, which I'm going to use. I love that they're just sitting here unused, but they're like Trident 3s. And so they're these tiny little things, but they have a GPU in them, so I can actually use those for machine learning GPU clusters. So I'm super excited about that. But that's neither that. I have not tried K9S. K9S, I had not heard of that one. Boy, you got me looking at all kinds of cool stuff. I got to write that down on my notes log. Today I learned that Lens, the Kubernetes IDE, is a thing, and it makes visualizing things at first while I'm learning it. Nice. Eventually, I will be command line all the way. But the number of moving parts, Kubernetes really benefits from a graphical representation. Apparently, there is also a great terminal UI called K9S. We're looking into. All right. Asus Tinkerboard. They are cool. I want to see if I can get some microcontrollers with M3, with K3S on there as well. K3OS. Only 2 Dells. Yeah, so Maluba, I'm going to have 2 things. I'm going to have my IKEA hack for now. It's not a true rack. It's got to have all my minis in it and everything on a true network. Probably will heat up the room probably. And then eventually I want to buy, like a $3,000 64 CPU core, 64 core System 76 box or something like that with one of the Threadrippers. I really want to get a Threadripper because Threadrippers can like burn through the ML stuff pretty fast if I actually want to get into doing some ML stuff myself. And this, maintaining the ML infrastructure as an engineer for this particular company is getting my interest in machine learning kind of perked. I mean, up to like a month or 2 ago, the practical usage of Docker and Kubernetes didn't really jive with me. And I've kind of felt that way with machine learning. I was like, how does machine learning affect me personally? What can I make with it that I might need? And now I'm starting to think of all these cool things that I could do with machine learning. on the side, and so I've been toying with even getting into that as my gaming. I don't game, so to me that would be a game. It's yours completely. Yeah, you've been saying that. You've been saying that a lot, Z. I'm just about certain they do application menus and dialogues with a GUI toolkit. Do they? Are they using Fine? Fyne? It is Docker compatible? Yeah, well, we're going to see about that. So this is the IDE for Kubernetes to visualize. I don't have anything particularly interesting in here to see, but this is the part I really like. So it shows you the stuff. Now we haven't been able to find, oh, there's the service. There you go. So this looks like, this is all of the Kubernetes objects. It looks like this, a namespace is not an object. So configuration, according to the definition from Kubernetes.io, config map, secrets, these things, limit range, these are all objects. Network services is a Kubernetes object. I don't know about ingresses is definitely an object. And there's all the storage stuff. I just love this because it helps me really visualize what Kubernetes is. I mean, it's so hard for people to get their head around what is Kubernetes. And it honestly, it's just a collection of objects, Kubernetes objects that are accessible via their API. And knowing how those objects relate to one another is like the core of understanding Kubernetes. And I'll learn the model to optimize the cost of heating. Yeah, I might do that, Maluba. That'd be really cool. Thanks for the follow, Rogelio. And PBN. Lots of Boris. So this, I love this too because it shows you where the Jupyter charts are, where the Helm charts are. So really, I'm just getting really excited about using this. There's not really much more to do on this particular video, so I'm going to mark the end of this video. So Lens is a thing. It helps you visualize stuff as you're learning Kubernetes. Oh, look. So there's my network service. Wait, is that my default service? Yeah. So my default namespace has the cluster IP. This is the internal IP, and it's only exposing port. It's exposing port 6443, which means that, I mean, that's how the API talks to everything. And so I'm going to just spend some time just like looking through this. What is this here? Endpoints. So this is the endpoint. I think this is probably internal to the cluster. I don't know. Can I actually ping that thing? I think this is an internal IP, right? Again, I'm just messing with stuff to learn. About Lens. Okay, so I'm just going to try some things here. I'm going to nmap this. I don't think I can even get to it. Nope, that's internal. In this case, yeah. Yeah. From the terminal tab in Kubernetes IDE, it's on the bottom. It has a terminal tab? Oh, what? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. And you can put this on anything, right? So you can put this on Windows that's running a Kubernetes that's running kind. You can run kind on Windows, right? If you're inside the cluster, Docker exec it kind of, and you can ping the internal stuff. Yes, that I remember. I wasn't sure if, let's try that. I actually have one. I have my Conan still up. What? Oh, it's, I gotta fix that. My completion's bork at the moment. I don't know why. Controller plane, no. I need to do, oh, you know why? That's because my default namespace is screwed up. Exec that IT, wait, D, Was it ls? I always mix these up. You're fired. Yep, I know. God damn it. What is it? I mix it up with my other stuff. Shell inside your container. Does it? What? Oh my god. We have to find that right now. So this is actually not. Oh, I got errors I gotta fix. What shell is it? It is bash, okay. I mean, how does it know which terminal to run? Holy moly. Terminal session. How do I open a terminal? We're almost out of time on this little exploration. Docker PS, I know, I can do it. There's Conan. Oh, Conan's dead. Conan died because I ran kind. And I changed my namespace. Yeah. So that's what's up. Yeah, there he is. There it is. Okay. So dexec it bash. It's not running. Sure it is. How come it exited? Oh, I know why. I think it's in the same space. I wonder if my cluster policy permissions automatically got in the way of it. I don't know what's up with that. Come on. No, it won't stay up. I need to start -D. Isn't it start -D? I suck at Docker, man. I do. I really suck at it. It keeps starting it and it gets shut down. I think the policy is set to keep it off. I think I mixed across the streams and I have 2 clusters on there and one that doesn't belong to the other cluster. So it's like, no, you have to stay off now. I think kind is like overriding me. Every time I start it, I think it's going down. Interesting exploring. Yeah. Well, there you go. So kind was a framework, a tool. It's a Go program that was designed to test Kubernetes. People have been saying that Red Hat's micro K8s is the thing to use, but that's from Red Hat. It requires you to install Snap. I've been really anti Red Hat in the Kubernetes space. Everything that they make builds in dependencies on Red Hat technology. So Podman, I was like, everybody was talking about Podman, Podman. I was like, okay, it doesn't have a daemon, so that means it doesn't have to run as root, etc. You don't have to add your user to the Docker group and all that. But it does that by permanently depending on systemd. That means that it can't run on other things. Kind uses Docker containers, which can run anywhere. Yeah. So Podman fundamentally depends systemd. Podman will not work without systemd. No, micro Kubernetes is a canonical thing, and it requires, actually you can get around it, but it uses Snap. And I don't know, micro Kubernetes is probably worth a look too. Minikube, which is on kubernetes.io, Minikube is a VM. So it gets in the way when you want to do persistent like volume mounts and stuff like that. It gets in your way. You have to do really crazy things. They're not for beginners, but it protects your system. So the reason they'll probably won't change Minikube from the tutorials is because it protects your system. So you're in a VM and you're totally, sandboxed off from your computer so you don't fuck it up. But if you, if you do the other one, so everybody, the overwhelming preference from all the real senior Kubernetes people I've talked to is kind, C-I-N-D. And so that uses it. And it runs Docker containers for everything, including Kubernetes. It runs Kubernetes in a Docker container. So that's how it gets away with doing everything, which does kind of complicate things, but it does give you more direct access to volume mounts and stuff. And it manages all that for you apparently. So you can pull that off. But on all of, that saves you the hassle of having to set up Kubernetes for a single node while you're doing development and testing, which is something I've been really doing a lot of lately. So yeah, I was trying to get my Conan to come up and it doesn't want to. So what do we got here, sir? We got 4 minutes left of exploration. Let's just look at everything. So, it's got some help here. Help. Documentation. What? Great video. Getting started. This is the kind of thing that when you study it, when you read about the tool, you end up learning about Kubernetes at the same time. So, you know what I mean? Because it's got this nice happy interface to it. Oh man, look at this. This is so fucking cool. I'm not supposed to swear because this is a video, but how many minutes we got? A few more minutes left on this video. I'm trying to keep my videos to 25 minutes so people can know that that's how long they are. So I mean, I can't even begin to say how cool this is. Thank you so much for showing us about this. Particularly for beginners who are learning. And that's a lot of us right now. And let me just say again, you need to learn it. You might not think you need to learn Kubernetes, but if you're in infrastructure in any capacity, you've got to learn this. And if you're in IT at all, if you're a technologist at all, you have to master Docker. You have to. It's not an option. And I suck at it. I need to learn it. It came out in 2013 when my business was going hot and I didn't need it. But now I have to really, really learn it. So learn Docker really heavily. So here's how the learning path goes again once more. So learn Linux, right? Install Docker, learn Linux, learn a command line, learn VI, learn networking, basic networking, learn how to make basic shell scripts. Then you're going to add in Docker. You're going to learn Docker, how to do Docker, how to use Docker containers, then how to make your own Docker container. Then you're going to layer in Kubernetes on top of that. Because, and once you understand Kubernetes, you understand that it's just dealing with Docker files and all that stuff. So whenever you read documentation about Kubernetes, they assume you know how a container is made and how it operates. So you have to have container knowledge before you can get into Kubernetes knowledge. And then once you get into Kubernetes knowledge, then you can get into, Kubernetes flavors and the stuff at the highest part. The stuff that you get, if you learn it and master it, the stuff that you pay you get paid $250,000 a year to architect that stuff. That's the going rate. The going rate for a Kubernetes executive architect is like $250,000. So if you can understand all this, because there's some people who have to make these huge decisions for everybody else along the path. And you do need to learn to code in there, but the first thing you need to learn to code is shell scripts, period. And then you can go on from there. So, and that, I'm just going to put a plug in for the beginner boost. That is why we're preparing all of this knowledge, because at rbx.gg/boost, we're going to be going through this path of learning. We're going to start with Docker containers, which we've never done before. And then we're going to learn Linux from a Docker container so that we're containerized in the brain from the beginning and at every moment. And then we're going to go through and learn all these things together. So I'm going to go back and play with this a little bit more before we have to go. Yeah. So I have a question, BSD people, before we leave this question. So BSD people, this is another reason I don't want to use Podman, because it uses systemd. I think it's conceptually possible to make a node on BSD. I think you can install Docker on BSD. Can you do that? Hey, Taniwa, how's it going? Does anybody know if we can install? Hey, Taniwa, have you seen this one? Taniwa is our conference presenter, fancy person. So he generally knows all the cool things before they come out. I'm just curious if you've seen Lens before. Or if they have seen this. We got to finish this video here. FreeBSD has Linux shells, which are great, such as namespace and C groups. So suffice it to say, this is where you need to be to visualize. And I just look at this. You can have all these pretty little cluster icons. I mean, come on. I'm okay with a GUI if it works to help me understand the system. If it's getting in my way, then no, I do not want it. But in this case, it's helping me understand how Kubernetes works, what all the moving parts of the Kubernetes system are, the services. It helps me configuration maps, secrets. Ooh, how's my token? Oh no. I think learning a managed Kubernetes engine can profit more than learning Kubernetes on a local machine. I agree with that too, and I plan on doing that as well. But you can't do that if you're given a job, and your job right away is you need to alter this container for Jupyter Hub so that it talks to this mounted persistent volume by mapping a namespace, user namespace to it. That which is my current assignment. If someone gives me that assignment, I don't have time to set up an entire cluster with physical nodes. I have to get a server up fast. I have to get a Kubernetes cluster up really fast, and I have to, put Jupyter Hub on there and start messing with it. And that's my current thing. So that's why I would really like an IDE like this, or, use a tool like Kind as well. So I think that's going to wrap it up for this video, but there's going to be lots more of us playing around with this if you want to check back during daytime or nighttime.